Hi my dear students, welcome to the online platform of KTCT College of Arts and Science. I am Ariya, Assistant Professor, Dept of Commerce at KTCT CAS. Now I am going to introduce the subject Entrepreneurship Development. In this subject we have to study 5 modules. The first one, Entrepreneurial Competencies. The second module, Entrepreneurial Environment. Third module, Business Plan and Feasibility Study. The fourth module, Project Report Preparation. The last module, Launching of Small Business. So, now we are discussing the first module, Entrepreneurial Competencies. Now we are discussing about the term entrepreneurship. So here we have to study the concept, meaning and definition of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a set of activities performed by an entrepreneur to establish, develop and carry on his business in a proper and better way. It's a process of designing, launching and running a new business. So here the term entrepreneurship means it's a set of activities or several activities are there. These activities are performed by an entrepreneur for the purpose of establishing, developing and carry on his business in a proper and better way or in an efficient manner. And also it's a combined process of designing, launching and running a new business. And also entrepreneurship plays a crucial role in the economic stability or the economic development of our country. So this is known as what? Entrepreneurship. Okay, next, the definition of entrepreneurship. According to Arthur H. Cole, entrepreneurship is a purposeful activity of an individual or a group of associated individuals undertaken to initiate, maintain and maximize profit by production or distribution of economic goods and services. So here, according to Arthur H. Cole defines entrepreneurship as is a purposeful activity or a deliberate activity of an individual or a group of persons. The main motive is to maximize profit through the production or distribution of goods and services. So here, the main motive or the main aim of an entrepreneur or an entrepreneurship is maximize profit by production or distribution of economic goods and services. So here, according to Arthur H. Cole, entrepreneurship is the purposeful activity of an individual or a group of individuals undertaken to initiate or inspiring or maintaining and maximizing the profit. So here, as we simply know that the main motive is to maximization of profit by production or distribution of. Another definition given by Jeffrey H. Chinman, entrepreneurship as the ability to create and build something from practically nothing. So here, according to Jeffrey H. Chinman, entrepreneurship is the ability of an entrepreneur to create something new or build or develop existing business for the purpose of maximization of profit. The next term, entrepreneur. Who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is one who plays a significant role in the economic development of a country. An entrepreneur is an individual who tries to create something new, bears risk, unites various factors of production and carries out innovation. So now we are discussing about the term entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who has the initiative, skill and motivation to set up a business enterprise of his own and always looks for high achievement. This is known as what? An entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who bears the risk, unites various factors of production like land, labor, capital and organization and carries out innovation. He is an individual who tries to create something new, who organizes production and undertakes risk involved in the establishment and operation of a business enterprises. So the main motive of an entrepreneur is to earn profit through the production or distribution of socially beneficial goods or services. And also an entrepreneur should be enriched with the inborn qualities like adventurism, willingness to face risk, innovative urge and also the creativity. And also he should introduce something new to the business and also find out the new uses for raw materials. Next, the definition of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is an individual who bears the risk of operating a business in the face of uncertainty about the future condition. So, the definition of entrepreneur means an entrepreneur is an individual who creates an enterprise, organizes production and undertakes risk involved in its operation. So, as we know that nobody can predict what will happen in the near future. So, our future conditions is very uncertain. We cannot predict. So, an entrepreneur can successfully convert these challenges or these threats into opportunities. The next topic, the features of entrepreneurship. The main features of entrepreneurship as the first one, dynamic process, the next one, innovation, the third one, risk taking, decision making, organization building function, economic activity, accepting challenges, and the last one, gap filling function. So these are the features of entrepreneurship. The first feature of entrepreneurship is dynamic process. Entrepreneurship is a dynamic function. It involves all the activities required for establishing and developing a business. As we know that the term dynamic means change, the need for change. An entrepreneur should accept the change. An entrepreneur is the person who recognizes the need for change. Also, the flexibility is the hallmark of a successful entrepreneur. That's why entrepreneurship is known as, or entrepreneurship is a dynamic function. It involves all the activities required for establishing, developing, and successfully carrying a business in a proper or a better way. So that is known as what? Entrepreneurship is a dynamic process or a dynamic function. The next feature of entrepreneurship is risk taking. Risk taking means the ability to take risk is the basic feature of entrepreneurship. Willingness to take risky action in the hope of a desired result. So risk means chances of loss or the willingness to take risky action in the hope of a desired result. Risk is an inherent and inseparable element of entrepreneurship. Therefore, the courage and the capacity to take the said risk are essential for an entrepreneur. As we know that we cannot predict what will happen in the near future. So, an entrepreneur assumes the uncertainty of future. The next feature, decision making. It is the decision making ability that is the distinguishing mark of an entrepreneur. Decision making means the process of selecting the best alternatives from among the number of alternatives or from among the number of choices. That means several choices or several alternatives are there. Out of these, an entrepreneur should select the best decision or the best alternatives. That is known as what? Decision making. To be entrepreneurial, a person should be creative, especially when it comes to decision making. So it is very crucial to an entrepreneur. The next feature is gap filling function. An entrepreneur identifies the gap between human needs and the available products and services and take necessary steps to fill the gap. So here it means an entrepreneur identifies the gap between human needs. First of all, an entrepreneur should identify the distance or the gap between the human needs and the available product and services. And also he should take necessary steps or remedial measures to avoid the gap or to fill the gap. So it is the most important feature of entrepreneurship. That is what? Gap filling function. The next feature, accepting challenges. Entrepreneurial persons are quick to see the opportunities. The entrepreneur plan and anticipate carefully to achieve their goals. An entrepreneur should see the opportunities. So they should show an innovative turn of mind, and also a successful entrepreneur should convert the challenges or threats into opportunities. That's why they plan and anticipate carefully how to achieve their goals in realizing an opportunity. That is known as what? Accepting challenges. The next feature is economic activity. Entrepreneurship is basically concerned with the production and distribution of goods and services. Entrepreneurship is an economic function as it involves the creation and operation of an enterprise. It is concerned with the production and distribution of goods and services. In economic terms, that's why it is known as what? Economic activity. Entrepreneurship is an economic activity. The next feature of entrepreneurship is organization building function. It implies the skill to build an organization. An entrepreneur brings together various factors of production. Entrepreneurship implies the skill to build an organization. That means an entrepreneur brings together various factors of production like land, labor, capital and organization. And also he coordinates and controls the efforts of all the persons engaged in his organization. So here the term coordination means synchronizing the various activities of an organization for the purpose of achieving organizational objectives. Therefore, an entrepreneur is an organization builder. That's why an entrepreneur is termed as what? An organization builder. We go for the next topic, distinction or differences between entrepreneur and manager. On the basis of meaning, entrepreneur creates, organizes and undertakes risk. Manager render services. So on the basis of meaning, entrepreneur is an individual who creates an enterprise, organizes production and undertakes risk involved in its operation. But the manager render only services to the organization. That's the first difference on the basis of meaning. Entrepreneur creates an enterprise and organizes various factors of production and also he undertakes the risk. But the manager is a person who renders his services in managing the resources to the business enterprise. That's the first difference. The next difference on the basis of status, entrepreneur, owner of the enterprise, manager, servant of the enterprise. So the next difference on the basis of status, an entrepreneur is the owner of the enterprise. A manager is the servant of the enterprises. Okay, next base of difference, that is qualities and qualification. On the basis of qualities and qualification, an entrepreneur needs to possess qualities like high achievement, motive, creative thinking, foresight, risk-bearing ability, etc. On the basis of qualities and qualification, a manager needs to possess distinct qualification in terms of sound knowledge in management theory and practices. The next base of difference is innovation. On the basis of innovation, an entrepreneur acts as an innovator or change agent to meet the market change. As we know that the term innovation means introducing something new to the business. It may be product innovation or process innovation. So here, an entrepreneur should act as an innovator or change agent to meet the market changes. On the basis of innovation, a manager's role is to translate the entrepreneur's ideas into practice. That means only implementation. It's a duty or responsibility of manager. Next base of difference, that is rewards. The reward for an entrepreneur for bearing risk is the profit. A manager gets a fixed amount of salary as reward for the services rendered by him to the enterprises. The next base of difference is risk bearing.
On the basis of the risk bearing, an entrepreneur, being the owner of the enterprises, assume all risk and uncertainty. But a manager, as a servant, does not undertake any risk involved in the enterprise. That means a manager acts as a servant. That's why he does not undertake any risk. So these are the differences between entrepreneur and the manager.